Mary J. Blige, she's been there since the very beginning. She was pushing, 26 when she was having intimate physical engagement with Danny Boy, who was 15, 16 years old.
This is Mary J. Blige. I'm 15, 16 years old, and she flying me in. And you know what it is when a girl back up on you, you young.
Allegedly, one of those tapes that Courtney Burgess say that he never saw was with Diddy, a very 16-year-old and a very 26-year-old Mary J. Blige.
Shout out to Magic Johnson, a real black billionaire who wasn't all freaked off, who actually made business, bank exchange, created dollars in real black neighborhoods so real black families could have that opportunity just like everybody else.
I mean, he actually caught HIV, like having like a lot of women.
Oh yeah, let's just go down the rabbit hole of all of his sins.
I'm just saying.
You want to know what's wild about that though? He faced that head up.
He did.
And he didn't stop. And he didn't stop doing what he's done.
He an advocate. Now he did that. And
period. Listen to me. He faced that head up. How many dudes is running around undetectable? G?
Come on.
In the game.
Man.
Because I could tell you 20 right now that I could rattle off names, and wouldn't nobody be able to sue me.
Jaguar Wright has returned to the public eye once again, and this time she is making even heavier claims that have stirred strong reactions online. She is speaking about men she believes are living without obvious symptoms while still spreading serious illnesses. Whenever Jaguar begins calling out people by name, it usually leads to heated conversations. She does not soften her words, and once again, her focus is on Diddy and what she describes as a dark side of the music business. According to Jaguar, the stories people have heard about Diddy's famous parties barely explain what she claims really happened behind closed doors. She says those events were not harmless celebrations filled with music and fancy drinks.
Which I know because I monitor. Went for $500 million. It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake. It was a really interesting night in Calabasas.
Tens of thousands of victims who have been waiting for justice for so long. Justice for Kim Porter, justice for Justin Bieber, justice for Cassie, justice for Tanya Rubin, justice for Little Rod, justice for Tierra Marie. Even Princess Love, for that matter. Justice for Biggie, Pac, Nipsey, Pimp C, my son Giovanni. I don't have enough breath in my lungs.
In her version of events, they were chaotic environments packed with drugs, hidden recording devices, and power struggles that could deeply affect anyone involved. She believes many guests were not simply partying for fun. Instead, she claims some were manipulated, pressured, and exposed to dangerous situations that could harm both their bodies and minds. Jaguar insists that celebrities were not always willing participants. She suggests that people with influence held control, while others were placed in vulnerable positions. According to her, these gatherings were dangerous spaces where lines were crossed and boundaries were ignored.
Mary J. Blige, she's been there since the very beginning. She was pushing, 26 when she was having intimate physical engagement with Danny Boy, who was 15, 16 years old.
This is Mary J. Blige. I'm 15, 16 years old, and she flying me in. And you know what it is when a girl back up on you and you young.
Allegedly, one of those tapes that Courtney Burgess say that he never saw was with Diddy, a very 16-year-old and a very 26-year-old Mary J. Blige.
You ever been to a P. Diddy party?
Yeah, several, many, honestly.
And so, can you take us through like what goes on, like when you were there?
What did I say when y'all asked me about why was the TD Jakes at the Diddy party?
Yeah.
What'd I say? Money.
That's correct. Were you surprised that there were so many cameras in his houses?
No.
That he was recording these?
Of course. He is the J. Edgar Hoover of hip hop.
Okay.
Y'all done seen him put on the pyramid with a skirt?
So let me ask you, when you hear that Cassie was told to hire male escorts to come and what they call freak offs now.
Yeah.
Is that something normal that happens in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Freak offs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody know that. I've been saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times I got these is wild.
So do you feel like people, when they hear pink cocaine, Young Miami has to bring across?
Wait, the two-seat.
She also claims that illnesses were part of the risk, with some attendees allegedly leaving those parties carrying problems that stayed with them long after the night ended. These claims are not coming from Jaguar alone. Over time, more stories have surfaced, especially from Miami. Some rumors suggest that young people in the city were spreading an illness that Jaguar believes traced back to Diddy. Again, there is no proof to confirm this, but the stories continue to circulate online and gain attention.
JT's basically coming out and saying that Young Miami is sleeping around with different guys, giving them AIDS.
Damn.
You know, and Future, Stephon Diggs is one of the people that got thrown out there. You know, she was with Diddy.
Whether someone believes Jaguar's words or not is a personal decision. Still, it is hard to ignore the level of chaos surrounding these claims. Jaguar often warns people to stay alert and protect themselves, especially when fame, money, and secrecy mix together. She believes too much has been hidden for too long, and she says the truth is finally starting to leak out. Many of these allegations gained more attention after Jaguar gave an interview where she spoke positively about Magic Johnson. She praised him for being open about his HIV diagnosis and for how he continued living his life without shame. She described him as a successful businessman and former basketball player who faced his reality directly.
BBJ should be charged. Mary J. Blige should also be charged. Jennifer Lopez should definitely be charged. Jay-Z should be charged. Khaled should be charged. Rick Ross should be charged. Usher should be charged and tried with him. Off of Justin Bieber alone.
She admired how he kept creating opportunities for Black communities and did not allow fear to stop him. During that same interview, Jaguar raised a question that shocked many listeners. She wondered how many men today might be living without visible symptoms while still putting others at risk. Because much of Jaguar's interview focused on Diddy, many listeners believed she was hinting that he may have been quietly moving through life while serious harm happened around him. Some people interpreted her words as suggesting that certain women left those parties carrying emotional pain and health issues they could not simply forget the next day. Do we have solid proof of any of this? No, we do not. Jaguar has not presented documents or physical evidence to support her claims. However, she does not seem concerned about that. She understands the power of shock alone. Even without proof, bold statements can keep blogs active and social media conversations alive. Her delivery is confident, direct, and emotional. Because she speaks with such certainty, people sometimes forget that everything she says remains alleged. Jaguar is not the only person adding fuel to these stories. Online gossip has taken on a life of its own. One of the biggest rumors involves young Miami. Some people claim she may have caught an illness from Diddy and possibly passed it on. This is a very serious accusation with no evidence, and it should be treated carefully. Still, the internet often moves faster than facts. Once a story sounds dramatic enough, people repeat it without waiting for confirmation. Young Miami's public relationship with Diddy has made the gossip grow even faster. For years, she stood beside him proudly. She appeared loyal and unbothered by criticism. She openly claimed him as her partner, even when many people questioned the relationship. Her visibility made her an easy target for speculation, whether fair or not. Adding more tension to the situation, JT was the first person to drop hints through music and public comments. Some listeners believe she suggested that Caresha picked something up from someone known for spreading it. If that were true, it would go far beyond playful shade. It would damage trust and hurt the image of the City Girls brand. The idea of close friends becoming rivals, with private matters exposed through lyrics, gave the public even more to talk about. The gossip did not stop there. More names became connected as the rumors spread. Saucy Santana and his former partner, Chef D, were also pulled into the story. Chef D claimed that Diddy hid a diagnosis during their relationship. Once again, these are claims without proof, but once they reached the public, they became part of the larger narrative. With all these stories combined, some people say they would not be surprised if more than secrets were exchanged at those so-called freak-off parties. The descriptions of what allegedly happened paint a picture of excess, pressure, and loss of control. According to these stories, the environment itself encouraged risky behavior. Things took an even darker turn when Diddy was indicted. Federal agents claimed they found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and several firearms at his properties in Miami and Los Angeles. Authorities said these items were connected to a larger operation tied to the alleged freak-offs. According to officials, these parties were fueled by alcohol, drugs, and disorder. The indictment described how supplies were allegedly used to keep these gatherings going. Officials mentioned substances, extra bedding, lighting equipment, and other materials prepared ahead of time. They also accused Diddy of threatening and pressuring women and others around him to satisfy his desires, protect his image, and hide his actions. Prosecutors went further, claiming Diddy used his staff, money, and influence not only to grow his business, but to turn it into something harmful. The charges connected him to serious accusations, including forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and interference with justice. Federal officers also described a pattern of alleged abuse stretching back many years. They claimed Diddy physically harmed women in different ways, including hitting, dragging, and throwing objects. According to the indictment, women were drawn in under the promise of relationships and then pressured into freak-offs through fear and intimidation. These gatherings were described as lavish events with intimate performances that Diddy allegedly planned, controlled, took part in, and recorded. His staff was accused of booking hotel rooms and stocking them with alcohol, oils, clean sheets, and lighting. Some parties reportedly lasted several days. Afterward, Diddy and others allegedly relied on IV treatments to recover from heavy substance use. Cassie's lawsuit added even more disturbing details. She described Diddy as someone with violent outbursts. She claimed he physically attacked her, causing injuries serious enough to send her to the hospital multiple times. She said the abuse affected her memory and mental health. She also stated that she struggled with thoughts of harming herself. Cassie accused Diddy of forcing her to sleep with other men while he recorded the encounters. Near the end of their relationship in 2018, she alleged that he broke into her home and assaulted her. Other lawsuits followed with similar claims. One woman, April Lampro, described multiple encounters where she said Diddy behaved aggressively. She recalled meeting him in New York in the mid-1990s, being pressured to drink, feeling sick, and later being taken to a hotel. She claimed he forced himself on her despite her telling him she felt unwell. She also described another incident involving Kim Porter, where both women were allegedly forced to take drugs and perform acts while Diddy watched. Considering all these accusations, some people ask whether it is surprising that illnesses may have spread. With drug use, lack of protection, and repeated encounters, the risk would have been high. Still, what troubles many people most is the list of famous women whose names are now tied to these rumors. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Cassie, Young Miami, Kim Porter, Jennifer Lopez, and Mary J. Blige are just a few names mentioned. There is no confirmation that any of these women were infected, and it would be wrong to state that as fact. In the end, Jaguar Wright's statements have intensified an already serious situation. Some people see her as an angry insider seeking attention. Others believe she is exposing truths the industry has whispered about for years. Either way, difficult questions remain. If even part of these stories is true, how many lives were affected? How many careers were damaged? And how many people should be held accountable? The entire situation feels unresolved and overwhelming. What began as quiet rumors about a wild lifestyle has turned into allegations involving health fears, broken relationships, and powerful names dragged into public debate. Even if some of the gossip has grown exaggerated, the fact that Diddy is facing serious charges makes everything feel unsettlingly real. Now the conversation is left to the audience. What do you think about these names being linked to such rumors? Do you believe there is any truth behind the allegations, or has the story grown beyond reality? Share your thoughts in the comments.